What does it feel like to be here at the premiere?
It's fantastic. It's our first premiere, so it's unworldly. It's really great.
Can you talk a little bit about working with one of the icons of all filmmaking, Robert Zemeckis?
It's a dream come true. Bob's inspired my career the entire time, so to get a chance to work with him has been otherworldly, really.
When you talk about the look of this movie, what were you going for?
We wanted to be honest to the reality of Mark Hogancamp's world as he recovers from his beating and everything else. And we also wanted to contrast that against the mythical world of his that he's created in his mind with the dolls, and to pay homage to his artwork and make sure that got the respect it deserves.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me what it's like to see yourself as a living doll.
It's pretty spectacular. I grew up playing with action figures, and Spider-Man would be proud of me, I think.
What about working with the icon that is Robert Zemeckis?
That was a real treat. I was very, very lucky to get this part and to work with him. Just the premise and the way that he approached this movie and the duality of real life versus imagination was really something special.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the premiere.
Thank you, I will.
Thanks. Tell us what it was like working with Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, it was a dream come true. I mean, I was 11 years old and I remember walking into the cinema to go and see Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and my mind just being blown at what I saw on the screen. And then a few years later to be standing on a set with him and he's calling action was just, my 11-year-old self was doing cartwheels. It was amazing.
And now to be here at the premiere, what does that feel like?
I just can't wait to celebrate this film. I mean, this film is kind of like the little film that could. It was a film that was a struggle to get made. It was a hard story to tell. Robert Zemeckis was just a champion of it for 5 years trying to get it to the screen. And we were all in the trenches together for a few months in Vancouver making this film. And now to celebrate it and see it on the screen, I think people are just going to love it. I can't wait.
It's a really inspiring story, and I feel like that's what we need right now. Yeah. What are your opinions on that?
I think it's beautiful, the fact that this guy who had the most awful thing happen to him, a hate crime that put him into a coma that ended up he lost all his memories, but he used his art and his creativity as a means of healing himself. And moreover, he needed these women to heal himself. He needed to find this group of women that became avatars to help him heal. And it's such a beautiful message for us today, the realization that we need women in order to heal a lot of the problems in the world. I think it's just the perfect time for a film like this.
This movie is so inspiring, which is really what we need right now. What is it like to be here at the premiere?
It's exciting, it's wonderful, it's a lot of fun, a thrill, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to finally have the world see it, or small world, then we'll open it.
Speaking of small worlds, you got turned into a doll. What is it like to see yourself in that way?
It's a little disconcerting because you're not quite sure that really looks like you,
What was it like to take your cast and to do all of that with them and then to put them in this motion capture world, but also in the real world? What were the difficulties and what were the exciting parts?
Well, the exciting parts were seeing it all come together and seeing how great they were as dolls. Of course, they're great actors and they were great in their live action roles too, but I mean, the challenge was all in the technical R&D stuff, but on the set we had a lot of fun because, we were acting like dolls. So.
Do you realize that you're an icon?
No, I don't. I don't know is that something I should be afraid of?
No, absolutely not. But what is it like to work? This is your husband also. He's in the pantheon of Hollywood.
Yeah.
What does it feel like? What is it like to step onto one of his sets?
It's really easy and relaxed. His sets are really great, very creative.
What do you hope audiences will take away from this movie?
I hope they enjoy the movie, and I hope they take away the message of hope that the movie, is putting out there, because that's what it is. It's about, it's about tolerance and acceptance and hope in the human journey. That's what it is.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Nice to see you. You look amazing. Congratulations on the film. What is it like to work with an icon like Robert Zemeckis?
I mean, I feel so lucky. He's definitely made the films that I grew up with and I loved, and to be driving that DeLorean in this movie even, I just feel like, my lucky stars were out that day.
What is it like to see yourself on screen in doll form?
It's weird. It's strange because she looks like me but then doesn't, and I played this really evil witch and she's so evil looking. But it was fun. It's a weird thing to do and interesting and really like a learning process because I've never done any green screen work.
This movie's so inspiring, which is really what we need right now. What do you hope audiences will take away from it?
It's a film that gives a lot of hope, I think, and I'm hoping that audiences will just feel the idea of no matter how bad things are, you know, you can relate to Mark's journey, and it touches you personally, and there's hope at the end, light at the end of the tunnel, and you know, it just leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy and hopeful.
What does it feel like to be here?
I am really delighted. I've wanted to, I've been incredibly lucky to work with filmmakers that I wanted to work with my entire life, and I've wanted to work with Robert Zemeckis since I was 7 years old, and never thought it was something that would ever happen. And it was a really delightful experience, and very inspiring. The cast is fantastic. I couldn't believe I was in a cast of such amazingly talented people, and everybody was so kind and gracious and funny and dedicated, and I really loved the whole experience. The documentary which the film is based on is something that I had seen and had really loved. So the idea of Robert Zemeckis making this story was a very, very exciting proposition.
What was it like to see yourself in doll form for the first time?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm lucky in that it is not the first time, but it is a different manifestation. And what I'm interested in doing is playing lots of different kinds of parts. I'm interested in exploring lots of different sorts of people. And so this seemed like a very different kind of person to the people I played in the past, but I was delighted it still came with a doll.
What is it like working with Steve Carell?
Oh, he's incredible. I mean, I've always found him hilariously funny. He's always made me laugh. I've always thought he was a really charming and brilliantly talented man. But he was just so respectful. Watching him work is so, it's just enormously inspiring. I sort of can't believe that I'm in a film with him. And my very first day's filming was filming with him, and I was incredibly nervous. And he was very gracious and kind, and what a man.
What is it like being here to celebrate this incredible story that's really uplifting and kind of what we need right now?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. The anti-bullying message that this film has is super important, and the way that, you know, the messaging happened is very innovative. So I'm happy to be a part of something with a strong message, and be on screen with so many incredible actors that I love and respect and admire, especially the women, you know, who are the saviors in this film, just like women are every single day. Yeah.
What was it like working with Robert Zemeckis?
Oh, he's a joy to work with. Such a creative, an artist. We did a table read, and he read the entire script for us. None of the actors read their parts. He read everything and walked us through and talked to us, and whatever questions we had, he answered. And also, I gave some notes about my character, and 1 week later, he rewrote in those notes and sent me a draft back, and I said yes.
You look amazing. Have the best time. Thank you so much. What was it like to see yourself not as this kind of doll?
You? Hello? Okay.
But to see yourself in doll form, what was that like?
It was incredible. It's not motion capture, it's called performance capture. So it's like a few steps up from motion capture, where it captures your emotions and more of your facial expressions. And so it's crazy because you can feel just as much from watching the dolls as you can from watching the real people. It's incredible. It really is.
What was it like working with Robert Zemeckis?
Intimidating, scary, and also so inspiring, and so honestly, you know, I grew up watching his movies, and I have so much respect for him, and I don't know, he's like this, he's like a genius. So the first time I met him, he told me about the movie, and he talked about the movie as if it already existed in his brain, you know, like it was already shot and done, and so he knew exactly what he wanted, and down to like every detail, and it was you know, really fun for me to work like that. Usually I work with people who are like very much looser, and you know, like if you show up to work and say, what are we doing today? They're like, I don't know, what do you want to do? So it's very different working with him.
What is it like to have a movie that's this inspiring coming out for audiences?
It feels great. I mean, I feel like you're watching me. I'm so excited. I feel like we need more movies out there that are hopeful and give people like a good feeling. I walked away from this movie feeling like I wanted to go back and watch it again, feeling like hopeful and just like lighter. Like we need more of that in the world.
What is it like working with the icon that is Robert Zemeckis?
Well, it was surreal. It was a dream come true. I'm Canadian, and I grew up with his movies. What can I say? It was every actress's dream.
When you're made into a doll and then you see it on the big screen, what is that like?
It's kind of like everybody imagines their own action hero. Same thing. Yeah. Same thing.
You are the actual Wen in Marwen. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Mark Hogancamp, the character who Steve Carell's character is based on, the real Mark Hogancamp, had women in his life that meant a lot to him, and so they incorporated that in the title. I play Wendy, and it was special. I have a supporting role, but being part of the title was a little extra special gift for me.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
This film is such an incredible, inspirational story, and it's so uplifting, which is what we need right now. Are you so glad to be here to share it with audiences?
I am. I saw the documentary, and that's how I felt about the documentary about this man's life, and it was inspiring. And I just wanted to give the whole theme of it. I just wanted to wrap myself in it. I loved it so much. So, with any luck, this will give people the same sort of vibe.
What is it like to see yourself as a doll?
Fantastic. I recommend it highly. And it's crazy because it's just so much better looking than me. And they roll it out, I'm like, all right, yeah, I can dream. Pretty cool.
I totally disagree, but what was it like working with Robert Zemeckis?
He's a master. It's a little intimidating, to be honest, because he walked on the set the first day, and we'd worked together leading up to that first day of shooting, but still, when he calls action that first time, I think everybody had the jitters because he's a legend. So it was exciting, and it was clear why he's such a legend when I started working with him. He's a master technician. He really understands the art of movie making and storytelling, and it was a real honor.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.